Hey, it's Mike with Riding in the Ozarks, and today's video is brought to you by NorCal Refrigeration. So let me explain what happened. We were looking at some reviews of some 2-in-1 exhaust for a project we're doing on one of the bikes, and I was reading the reviews, and I saw a comment by NorCal Refrigeration, who follows me on Instagram and YouTube, and so I recognized the handle, and so I reached out to him on Instagram and said, hey, are you still happy with this exhaust? That comment was a couple years ago. He's like, actually, I got a different exhaust, but I loved that exhaust. There was nothing wrong with it. It's just, I still have it. It's just faded and hanging around here, setting up, collecting dust. And he's like, I was like, cool. We're looking at, that exhaust for another bike. And he's like, well, I'll give it to you if you just pay for shipping. So David did me a real solid, donated the exhaust for this project. And we're going to try and rehabilitate this exhaust. So let's take a look at it. So we have a 2-in-1. You can see there's some imperfections here, some scratches or something's burned on it. A little bit of maybe water spotting or rust kind of setting on that surface there. It's a nice 2-in-1. And this is the Cobra El Diablo. And don't worry, he provided the bracket that goes with it too. So hopefully the stock hardware bolts will work with this. If not, I may have to go hunt some up at the hardware store. But, when stuff is donated, you do not complain. Just paying for shipping was a great deal. We really appreciate the donation to the channel. I'm going to leave a link in the description to David's handles and his links and stuff for social media in case you want to follow him or just, go over and give him a shout out and tell him thanks for doing this. That would be cool too. All right, to prepare the surface, I got some of this red, very fine Scotch-Brite pads. I tore it into little strips because I want it to fit inside of this little makeshift warm water bucket I used with Dawn dish soap in it. That's going to be our degreaser. That's what we're going to clean it with. And these little strips are good so you can just kind of roll back and forth and do a section at a time and, get into the crevices easier and things like that. The bigger the pad is, sometimes the harder it is to work with. So we're going to get started. We can see a little bit of I think that's just surface rust there. And I'm going to paint over this, so I'm not worried if I have some swirl marks, that kind of thing. That's why we're cleaning it, because we're actually going to paint it with some black high temp paint. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I went with satin black. Most of the high temp paint I could find was for flat black, but I wanted maybe just a little prettier, shinier look if I can get it. We'll see. Oh, looks like David's been rubbing in the corners there, dragging the exhaust. Right there too. Way to go, David. That's what we like to see. Now, I'm not a paint guy, but I do know that you're supposed to scuff surfaces if you're painting them so the paint will stick better. So I think this very fine Scotch-Brite might, help with that a little bit as well. If there's a paint guy in the audience that knows I'm doing something wrong or should do something better, make sure you leave a comment, and maybe I'll pin it to the top of the comments if I think it'll help someone else who's trying to do this. I looked at some videos, and this seems to be the common method. Clean it with the cleaner. Some use some kind of specific metal cleaner. I think Dawn dish soap works pretty good for just cleaning dirt and grease, and that's really all we're trying to do here. All right, so I have cleaned it with the Scotch-Brite pad and Dawn dish soap, and then I've rinsed it with just plain water with the Scotch-Brite pad to try and make sure I got everything off. Now I'm going to take a microfiber cloth in that same clean water, wipe it down, dry it with a microfiber, and then when my paint arrives, which should be delivered today, we'll worry about painting it. But we're going to let it dry up anyway, good and everything. So hopefully it's got it all degreased and ready to go. Hey guys, it's a couple days later, so the paint came in, but it was almost dark. You're supposed to put this on when it's 65 to 85 degrees. So today is a good day for this. It's sunny and warm. We're going to go put this on. I am using high temp coating satin black from Eastwood. So we'll go put this on the parts. I'm going to hang them on a line out here and spray them. Probably have to put a couple coats on this, and then we'll see what we end up with. I've got the exhaust mounted back up. The muffler I put several coats on. I might do some more coats on the heat shields, but we want to see how it sounds, make sure everything is tight, no exhaust gasket leaks before I put heat shields and stuff back on it. So she's going to fire it up. This will be her first time starting with the new exhaust. That's fine, that's oil and grease stuff. I know, fine. You're gonna have, I sprayed WD-40 and everything else in there, remember? Yeah. So all that shit's gonna burn off. Hey everybody, I've got the heat shields on, but before we showed those to you, I wanted to talk for a second. In that last clip, you saw the bike smoking. Firecracker was concerned about it. Some of you may not realize, but like, when you take the exhaust bolts loose from the studs, generally you use something like WD-40 or penetrating oil, which is what I had done. And so you get a little bit of that on the engine, and then when you start it back up, that's going to burn off. That's not anything to be worried about. Obviously, you want to be sure that if you have a lot of smoke, you don't have something on fire. But what little bit you saw in that video was just the oil burning off that I'd sprayed around the exhaust studs and things like that. So if you're not familiar with this process and you do that and you see something like that, don't freak out. It's okay. Now, we have rode this. It's been several weeks since we got it on there. And the first time she rode it, we did about 20 miles. And we did that stretch on purpose because they do say to let it cook for about 20 minutes the first time you run it after putting high temp paint on. So you can actually smell that. You don't want to obviously let an air-cooled bike just sit there and idle for 20 minutes either. So you got to ride it. So she rode it for about 20 miles. We'll let that cook in. It is set up good. It looks good. No more smell after the first 20 miles or so, that first ride. And it's been great since then. Let's take a look at these heat shields, show you what they look like. Now, while we're looking at these, I wanted to talk to you guys for a second because I just put out a video about a $100 budget-friendly shock we put on her bike. And I had a few people comment about the fact that I got $2,000 Olin suspension and I bought my wife a $100 shock. Well, the fact is we are doing a project on this bike and we had not intended to do the shock or this exhaust. But for clearance reasons, we ended up deciding we might have to replace the exhaust because of the way the factory exhaust runs. When it gets back to here, it dogged up. There was a clearance issue with some stuff we're doing. So we had to change the exhaust most likely unless we could raise the saddlebags up. And that's why we invested in a new shock. I mean, it does help with the comfort. There's no doubt about that. And that was part of what we talked about in the video. But it was not, her comfort wasn't so bad that we were just looking to replace the shock. It was an afterthought to this project. Once we knew we had a clearance issue, we knew that we were likely to have to replace this exhaust. And we weren't intending to get a free exhaust. We were looking at spending $1,000 on a full exhaust system, which was going to put us way over budget on the project. So that's why we decided to try the $100 shock, knowing that we might still have to drop $1,000 into exhaust to be able to complete the project. Turns out the shock did not get us the clearance we needed. So I'm glad we didn't drop a ton of money into it, but we didn't end up spending $1,000 on exhaust either, thanks to David. I have about $200 in this project between shipping the exhaust from California to the Ozarks and then the cost of the sandpaper, the dish soap, the spray paint, all that stuff. And I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I think the rehab looks pretty good. Is it perfect? No. But is it good enough? Absolutely. I mean, it looks like maybe it's just a few months old or a year old or something like that. But it doesn't look like it did when we got it. It looks much better. So I'm very happy with the project. Thank you again, David. I hope you guys, if you've considered getting an exhaust, or if you got some old exhaust, instead of replacing it, you decide to rehab it, you maybe try something like this. All right, make sure you drop me a comment down below and let me know what you think of this exhaust after I've got done. Do you agree that it was worth the $200 to do, or did we make a mistake? Y'all stay safe, keep on riding, and we'll see you in the next one.